Hello, viewers, and a very warm welcome. You're watching the brand new edition of India Fights Back with your host, Kriti Mishra. Although most people with COVID 19 get better within weeks of illness, some people experience post COVID conditions. Post COVID conditions are a wide range of new, returning, or ongoing health problems people can experience more than 4 weeks after first getting infected with the virus that causes COVID 19. Even people who did not have symptoms when they were infected can have post COVID conditions. These conditions can have different types and combinations of health problems for different lengths of time. Diabetes is considered a comorbidity for COVID 19 patients. For some patients, however, it can result in a diabetes diagnosis as well. From what is being increasingly observed, there's been an increase in diabetes cases since the last few months, especially common in those who have a history of COVID 19. This revelation has become a center of many studies and one of the prime reasons many are suspecting it, yet another way the virus can have repercussions on the human body. COVID 19 could trigger both type 1 and type 2 diabetes in recovered patients. So, how do we combat the post COVID conditions? Let's find out from our experts. Joining us on the show today, Dr. Naveed Vik, HOD Medicine and Chairman COVID Task Force AIMS, and Dr. Sanjay Kumar Bhadada, Professor of Endocrinology, TGIMER, Chandigarh. Welcome to Lotsaba Television, both of you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Hello.
And Dr. Vik, coming to you first. Why are some patients who had mild symptoms or no symptoms and have recovered are now suffering from other serious concerns?
So I would like to say here that we should reduce this panic. It's a viral illness and it should remain a viral illness. And even after any viral illness, there is something called post-viral fatigue or post-viral syndrome. So that means the effects of virus remain in body for some days or some weeks, and then patient improves. So I would say this is a post-viral phenomena which remains. Now various terms have been given to it. For example, you see it is called acute COVID for first 2 weeks, for first 4 weeks, whatever it is called acute COVID. Then after 4 weeks, what happen? Whatever symptoms happen, we can call it post-acute COVID, right? And then from 4 weeks to 12 weeks, we can call it subacute or ongoing post-acute COVID. After 12 weeks, we call it chronic COVID, or we can call it long COVID also. So ultimately, it is the same spectrum. It is everything is post-acute COVID. I would say that this is a viral illness. I would say that this is called post-viral fatigue. I would call it, because fatigue is the commonest symptom, or I will call it as post-viral syndrome, because then there can be 2 or 3 things which are happening in these patients. And then we sort, and so there is, so, and you see when virus affects, if it affects all the organs. So there are some symptoms which happen in different organs, but the main organ which is affected is lungs. So whatever symptoms happen in post-COVID, subacutely or chronically, it is mainly in the lungs, but other symptoms can also happen in the form of fatigue or myalgia or some joint pains. So these are common symptoms which remain otherwise, but they improve over a time. So most of symptoms will improve within 3 months. Majority of symptoms like fatigue and myalgia, they improve in 40 days, 50 days, they improve. But sometimes joint pains are also there, they also improve. Taste and, and taste and smell, they also improve. So majority of symptoms will improve in 12 weeks, but sometimes there is some difficulty in or some breathlessness, some cough. It may persist more than 3 weeks also. Sometimes fatigue may also persist. So that we call it long COVID. But I want to remove the panic by saying that this is just a viral illness. And this is a post-viral syndrome. It is not long COVID. It is, we should refrain from using so much language and creating panic in the minds of people, because people start thinking, I've got a heart problem, I've got a brain problem, stroke problem, I've got kidney problem. So there are not many issues like this, but we have to treat patient as a patient, because these patients have so many comorbid conditions as well. like they have a heart problem, they have a, chronic lung problem, they have diabetes, they have some kidney problem also as such. So if we take care of their comorbid conditions like heart disease or diabetes or kidney disease, and then then COVID is a very small thing. So we have to take care of them as a patient, including all problems, and then we can simplify it and demystify it.
All right, we have to demystify it. And as you said, that we don't have to panic. I'll take that to Dr. Sanjay. Dr. Sanjay, as Dr. Vic says, that COVID patients may recover within few weeks, but we have to take care of the comorbid conditions. How has been the experience treating the patients with COVID-19 and treating their post-COVID symptoms or conditions, sir?
Thank you. And I agree with Dr. Naveen's answer that are absolutely there, but nothing to create a panic, because it is happen about the some of the viral illness. It is not uncommon. Now, question is that COVID with related to COVID, especially with relation to diabetes, I want to say a few important things. We know that currently the principal management of COVID is moving around or around the steroid intake, and that is to be steroid intake in the higher amount. So, and we all know that steroids are known to cause diabetes. That is not a new thing. So if you are giving a steroid to a person, then he may or she may likely to develop a diabetes in subsequent period, not develop the diabetes. So diabetes will depend on the patient's particularly having insulin resistance phenotype. He is having a family history of diabetes. He may be at the not diabetic before the COVID, but it may be in the pre-diabetes state. So the pre-diabetes state will be, say, precipitated because of the steroid intake per se. Second thing we know that is very important is that the virus is having the receptor on the beta cell, that is the ACE2 receptor. And this virus can directly affect the beta cells, and that can cause the diabetes. Though not much literature is available on this aspect, but lot of basic studies are going on that this virus can cause the diabetes per se. Now the question comes is that can cause type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes? To my mind, it is more likely to be type 2 diabetes, because we have not seen increase in number of type 1 diabetes after COVID-19. So that is less likely. And other reason may be that currently in the both waves, young children are not affected significantly. They may be very less in number. So that we are not seeing more number of type 1 diabetes patients. But yes, the type 2 diabetes number is increased. That may be because of the steroid intake, maybe because of they are not aware that they are diabetes in advance, or maybe because of COVID infection per se. So follow-up studies will tell us that what exactly happened to the status of diabetes. But one thing is clear, that we are finding difficulty in managing the diabetes patients' blood glucose. One is because they are already on the steroid. Second, their physical activity is restricted because of significant weakness. And third is that they are basically having some beta cell damage per se itself. So that's when the number are increasing, and we are finding difficulty in managing also. And the certain drugs are actually contraindicated in managing the patients with type 2 diabetes patients with COVID. For example, SGLT2 inhibitor is one of the drugs. So many of our patients are taking the SGLT2 inhibitor. But now recent studies are saying that you should not use SGLT2 inhibitor drug during the management of type 2 diabetes with COVID patients. So the drugs are also less, not all drugs are available for the treatment. And the second thing, as I mentioned, the multiple factors are responsible for the increase in number as well as poor glycemic control.
All right. So basically, we are talking about the factors. Dr. Vic, I'd like to understand, since there's been an increase in diabetes cases since the last few months, especially common in those who have a history of COVID-19, is steroid the only reason? What are the other factors as far as medication is concerned?
So I would say that the management protocol remained the same in first wave and the second wave, right? But in second wave, what happened was, the second wave was like a tsunami. Number of patients increased so much. Many patients had to be treated at home. Many patients required oxygen at home. So that created the whole chaos. And that is what happened where they were given steroids at home because there was no other option. Once patients are so sick, they are not getting bed in the hospital, they require oxygen at home, and steroid is the only treatment for a moderate patient. So they got even steroid at homes. So their diabetes probably was not controlled at home as well. So when steroids are given in hospital, then their blood sugar monitoring is done very judiciously. And whenever and then patients are managed well in hospital as compared to home as well. If oxygen patient is being managed at home and he's diabetic or he develops diabetes, it's difficult to manage at home. So now since numbers have reduced, today it's 1 lakh, but active number is still 14 lakh in the country. It's a big number still. But since numbers have reduced, now patients will get admitted to hospital little faster. Their diabetes will be managed much better. So their steroids will be used at the right time, in the right dose, for the right duration. Because ultimately what happened, many days patients were at home, they got steroid for a longer period as well. So that is probably what happened. But coming back again, what is the treatment? Treatment is to control diet from day one of COVID. Take less carbohydrate diet from day one of COVID till you're cured of COVID. Because once your diet amount is come and your amount of protein is good, then you can avoid this diabetes as well. And even if you have to take steroids, then we can manage your diabetes much better. So reduced number of calories, equal number of calories is very important. And then diabetes is not the only thing. We have to think of lungs. Lungs, we have to protect the lungs. We have to do rehabilitation of lungs. We have to do breathing exercise for lung. Because body is deconditioned. So we have to activate our body. So 6 minutes, if we walk every hour in the beginning for 6 to 7 times, that means 36 minutes a day we are walking. And gradually we make it 10 minutes every hour, 6 to 7 times. That is again rehabilitation and light breathing exercise. So deconditioning happens. So other organs, if we go to other organs as well, that it is lung, then about heart. What happens in heart? Heart, I would say, remains all right. We have done postmortem biopsies. That means patient who have died, we have taken biopsies there from their heart. There is no myocarditis. Even if inflammation is there, there is minimal. Similarly, we have done biopsies in liver. Again, there is minimal inflammation. So we should be assured that heart will be normal. If some element of something happens, some chest pain or some increase in heart rate, which happens in these patients, it will settle over a time, but we have to consult our doctor at that period so that appropriate therapy can be given. But there is no need to panic that COVID will cause my heart problem. There is no inflammation in the heart, but otherwise also heart problems can happen, stroke can happen. And when you are mobile, when person walks for 6 minutes every hour, 6 to 7 times a day in a post-COVID period, then this thromboembolic phenomena and keeps his hydration well. If hydration is all right, he walks, he's mobile, then there is no thromboembolic phenomena also happening. So we have taken care of our lungs, we have taken care of our hearts, our liver is all right. About thromboembolic phenomena, we take care by hydration and by mobilization. And then kidneys. If kidneys are affected in the beginning, acute tubular necrosis, which happen in minimal number of patients, it also improves with time and with hydration. So main problem in these patients is neuropsychiatric problems. Because these patients have, even if it is a mild illness, they're worried that it may become into acute illness, chronic illness. So there is so much of panic. So lack of sleep or excess of sleep or anxiety or minimal depression. So these patients have to learn mindfulness. They have to do some meditation. They have to develop their hobbies and they have to have belief in themselves because they have lost their belief. They have seen some patients in hospital dying. They have some family member have also suffered. So they have to have belief in illness that it is a viral illness. It will not cause much damage and you will improve absolutely smoothly without any symptoms over a time, if you have a self-belief and you rehabilitate yourself by walking and doing some breathing exercise and being in contact with your doctor. So being in contact post-COVID period, being in contact with your doctor is most important. And even if it is teleconsultation will give you a lot of confidence, because currently non-COVID work is little bit less. It will improve over a time. But even if you remain in contact with your doctor, post-COVID problems, 99% will be taken care of. 1%, obviously, I can't guarantee that.
All right. So as you said that we must focus on our hobbies, talk to our doctors regularly. And of course, the thumb rule is that we shouldn't panic. But since we're talking about the factors, Dr. Sanjay, we understood that steroids, overuse of steroids could be one part of it. But many Indians also have a genetic predisposition that puts them at the high risk of diabetes, sir.
Yeah. So that is absolutely correct. And as I mentioned also in my answer to your previous question, that many people, when they develop the diabetes, indeed they hospitalized. Before hospitalized, they might be having the diabetes. So that is not a new thing. And many people gained the weight during COVID time because of the lockdown. So that will add to it. So there are multiple reasons are there. In addition to that, genetics is also contributing for increasing number of the type 2 diabetes patients. But probably we have to do very systematic study in a particular location or the localized area, that what was the prevalence. Suppose I given an example. In the Chandigarh, the prevalence of diabetes was 13.4%, maybe 2017 data. We can do a small study and let's see that what happened, the prevalence of diabetes now in Chandigarh. Or we can see that you can compare few hundred patients of COVID and without COVID, what happened to their diabetes. So then we can really give the correct answer that what is exactly happening. The reason is that type 2 diabetes individuals are not predisposed for the COVID-19. They are not predisposed. But if the infection is there, the disease is more severe, they will be more hospitalized. They will be more hospitalized, then we see the more number of diabetes patients are hospitalized. So we may perceive that number is increased significantly. But I think we need more solid data before saying is that there is increase in number of diabetes. Maybe, but may not be really very, very high kind of thing. Yeah.
All right, sir. Before we talk about something else and wrap up about diabetes, sir, what are the important early signs that we need to watch out for if you're talking about diabetes in post-COVID situation?
Yeah. So early signs may be like some of the patients are losing weight. As Dr. Naveen was telling that we have to take care of calories because that is important for the diabetes control. But I have seen many patients lost 20 kg weight. Approximately that 20% of body weight they have lost because of this COVID illness. So there is significant weight loss is there. You must know about that. Then the obviously type 2 diabetes patients are more prone for the various other complications, especially maybe having the urinary tract infection, maybe having their severe lung conditions, maybe having the some cardiovascular events and all these things. So the diabetes per se is the risk factor, and a few more evidences are coming that COVID might be causing problems because of thromboembolic phenomenon or not. Like COVID-2 is one of the condition which is known to cause by the COVID. So if there is already vessels are compromised because of the diabetes, then these patients are going to develop more frequent such kind of events as compared to the non-diabetic individuals with COVID disease.
All right, so that's where we'll have to pay attention. But Dr. Vivek, how do we minimize the after effects of post-COVID recovery? What is it that the patients have to keep in mind, whether we are talking about diabetes or any other side effect or after effect?
It is your routine, healthy lifestyle which will bring you back to normal. As Dr. Sanjay also said, he has seen some patients who have lost 20 kg of weight. So this is a hypercatabolic state. Even if you have lost minimal weight, this is and then body gets deconditioned. So it is the conditioning of the body, gradual rehabilitation, be it your muscles, be it your walking, be it your breathing. So these, and be it your mind. So all these things need rehabilitation, and the simplest mantra is that we walk for 6 minutes every hour in the beginning of illness, so that we recondition our lungs and we recondition our body. And then as our stamina improves, then we walk for 10 minutes for at least 6 to 7 times a day, which is almost an hour. And we don't do very strenuous exercise. Walking is a very mild, gentle exercise. We are improving upon it. Then we maintain our hydration, and then we do minimal stretching, that we contract our muscles and then release them. Just very gentle, which we can do on our own. So that will prevent the thrombosis and other events. And then we hydrate ourselves well. And then breathing exercise, very simple breathing exercise. If you smell a flower from one nose, it's a beautiful smell. Smell it. Imagine smelling a flower. Then take a deep breath and then bring out breath very slowly. So do this exercise.
But sir, if those senses do not get activated, then what?
Senses will get activated over a time. So that is, taste buds can come back in 1 week. It may not come back in 6 months. Don't get worried. Smelling was like, it was like how to breathe. You have to enjoy everything. You have to enjoy your breathing. You have to enjoy your exercise. You have to enjoy your life. Every moment is so precious. So this is the time, once I have COVID and I have recovered from it, I need to do my inner engineering. I have to be mindful, and I have to enjoy my new life.
All right, you
one more
made a
thing
very interesting term there. Yes, Dr. Sanjay.
I want to say a few more things here. That
Yes.
One is, check your blood glucose regularly. Try to control as best as possible. Be in touch with your doctor and use whatever drugs those are preferred in the management of type 2 diabetes with COVID. So this is the mantra, that you should be doing your regular activity, physical activity, your diet control, your exercise, and regular blood glucose monitoring, because we know that if blood glucose control is not good, you are prone for another infection. And one more thing is, many people feel that they had COVID now, so they will not develop the COVID. No, they should not think like that. Even the people are getting reinfection also. And I know few people, they got the reinfection. So you should be equally careful that you're masking, your 2 gaj ka duri, and frequent sanitization. All these things are very, very important. And don't forget to take your vaccination in the stipulated time. Even you had a first dose or the second dose. If your second dose is still due, they can their second dose after the 6 to 8 weeks of their infection. So you should not forget about that, because still prevention is still important.
Absolutely, sir. As they say, prevention is better than cure. But time for closing comments from both my guests. Dr. Vic, coming to you first.
I am saying that we have to reduce the numbers. We have to get vaccination. What is the mantra for vaccination? Have I vaccinated my parents? Whether I'm a 5-year-old child, whether I'm a 10-year-old, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, can we all pledge that we will vaccinate our parents? Because 10-year children has to vaccinate his 40-year-old parents. We have to ensure that, because people are not getting vaccinated. At some places, the people are not getting vaccinated, and then we will not be able to break the chain. Because vaccine is whatever vaccine from 40 to more than 45 years of age, 100% vaccination has to be there. Can each district ensure this? Can each village ensure this? कि all parents, मेरे हर जिले के, हर गांव के बच्चे का मतलब 20 साल का बच्चा, 5 साल का बच्चा, 30 साल का बच्चा, 40 साल का बच्चा, 50 साल का बच्चा ये इंश्योर करे कि मेरे माँ बाप वैक्सीनेटेड हैं, मुझे अपने माँ बाप को बचाना है. हम बच्चों की बात कर रहे हैं, बच्चों को तो बचाना है, पहले बच्चे अपने माँ बाप को तो बचाएं. वैक्सीनेशन लेके ब्रेक द चेन करें, ताकि इतने नंबर ही ना आए और हम पोस्ट कोविड की बात ही ना करें. हम पोस्ट कोविड की बात क्यों कर रहे हैं? मतलब पोस्ट कोविड एक वायरल इलनेस है, पैनिक नहीं क्रिएट करना। लोगों के डर में मन में घुसा हुआ है कि मेरा हार्ट गया, मेरी किडनी गई, मेरा लिवर गया, लंग्स में तो प्रॉब्लम होती है, ऐसा नहीं है कुछ। अगर आप नॉर्मल रहेंगे तो पैनिक मत करिए, ये एक वायरल इलनेस है, वायरल इलनेस ही रहेगी। प्लीज वैक्सीनेशन कीजिए और साफ मास्क पहनिए। साफ मास्क पहनना, क्लीन मास्क, साफ मास्क इज द मंत्रा। एंड सेकंड मंत्रा इज प्लीज गेट वैक्सीनेशन, प्लीज वैक्सीनेट योर पेरेंट्स, whosoever is there, please vaccinate your parents। अपने माँ बाप को वैक्सीन लगवाइए, अगर नहीं मान रहे हैं तो जबरदस्ती लगवाइए। और सब वैक्सीन सेफ हैं, चाहे वो कोविशील्ड हो चाहे कोवैक्सीन है, सिर्फ पानी की मात्रा पूरी रखिए और वैक्सीन के लगाइए। और बुखार होना वैक्सीन के बाद तो और भी अच्छी बात है, इसका मतलब वैक्सीन और इफेक्टिव है। तो अब क्रोसिन की गोली होगी, अगर बुखार होगा तो ज्यादा ज्यादा वो खानी पड़ेगी। तो वैक्सीनेशन और साफ मास्क, क्लीन मास्क इज द मंत्रा। तब हम पोस्ट कोविड की बात ही नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि माइल्ड डिजीज होगी, इतनी सीवियर डिजीज तो होगी नहीं। फिर मुझे थोड़ी सी फटीग हो गया, थोड़ा सा मसल एक हो गया तो क्या बात है, वो तो वैसे ही होता है।
All right, sir, those are very inspiring words. Dr. Sanjay, why should we talk about post-COVID symptoms? We have to fight the disease.
Yeah. Somebody said that an intelligent doctor actually prevents the disease. Average doctor treat the disease, and a worst doctor actually treat the complications. So we want to be a good doctor, best doctor to prevent the
Intelligent
disease.
doctors.
And, Dr. Navneet said we should all follow. But I say rule of two. Rule of two is 2 hourly wash your hands, 2 गज का दूरी रखिए, or if you are a healthcare worker, use double mask, and 2 vaccinations, 2 doses of vaccination for yourself, for your parents and your family. So that is rule of 2 will be very, very useful.
All right, so as you said that we already have intelligent doctors in our country. All that we need to do is become intelligent citizens. So on that note, Dr. Vik, Dr. Sanjay, thank you so much for joining us on this edition of India Fights Back.
Dhanyavad. Jai Hind.
Well, viewers, that's all we had for you in this edition. But before that, let me remind you once again to stay safe from the coronavirus pandemic. Remember to wear a face mask and wash your hands and face regularly, and ensure that you maintain physical distancing whenever you're stepping outside. Well, these simple precautions are all it takes to defeat this pandemic. Take very good care and goodbye.